Imagine holding in your hand a small copper coin minted more than 70 years ago, a coin that has silently witnessed the passage of American history from the dawn of the Cold War to the rise of a new consumer age, a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance, but carries with it a story of art, politics, economics, and collecting passion. Welcome to Old Quarters Dollar Value, where today we unlock the hidden history, the rarity, the minting secrets, and the collector value of the 1953 wheat penny, one of the most fascinating coins of mid-20th century America. The story of the 1953 wheat penny begins with its design, a design that had already become iconic in American numismatics. By the middle of the 20th century, the obverse features the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right with the inscriptions "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 1953 standing proudly on its surface. This design was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and by 1953 the Lincoln cent was deeply woven into the daily life of the nation. The wheat reverse, with its simple yet bold stalks of wheat framing the denomination 1 cent, and the words "United States of America," had been a staple of American coinage for over 4 decades, representing strength, unity, and agricultural heritage. By 1953, the United States Mint was producing these coins in 3 major facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, each mint contributing to the national supply of pennies, but each producing its own distinct marks and rarities. The Philadelphia Mint produced the 1953 penny with no mint mark. The Denver Mint marked its coins with a small d below the date, and the San Francisco Mint produced the 1953 penny. Collectors today know that while millions upon millions of these coins were struck, not all wheat pennies were created equal. Some carried tiny imperfections, others displayed doubled dies, off-center strikes, or weak strikes, while others were struck with such precision that they became gems of the collecting world. The year 1953 itself adds historical depth to the story. America was living in the post-World War II era. President Dwight D. Eisenhower was leading the country. The Korean War had just ended, the Cold War was intensifying, and the United States economy was booming. This period marked the rise of the American middle class. New suburban neighborhoods sprouted, new cars filled highways, and consumer goods became a symbol of prosperity. While Americans carried change in their pockets, coins like the 1953 wheat penny circulated widely in shops, diners, theaters, and gas stations. Yet few people stopped to consider that decades later, those very coins would become prized pieces of history. From a metallurgical perspective, the 1953 wheat penny was composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition had been standard since 1864, with the exception of the wartime steel cents of 1943. Copper was not just a metal for minting, but also an industrial resource, and with the demand for copper rising during and after World War II, pennies remained one of the simplest yet most enduring uses of the material. The warm, reddish-brown tones of freshly struck wheat cents made them instantly recognizable, and over time, they developed natural patinas ranging from chocolate brown to deep red tones that collectors now classify carefully when grading. Grading plays a crucial role in determining the value of a 1953 wheat penny. Circulated examples are often worth only a few cents above face value, but uncirculated examples, particularly those with full red luster, can command significantly higher prices. A 1953D or 1953 South penny in mint state red condition can be worth several dollars to hundreds depending on rarity and grade. While the Philadelphia Mint produced over 256 million coins, the Denver Mint struck more than 700 million, and the San Francisco Mint produced over 180 million. Yet despite these massive numbers, high-grade survivors remain scarce, particularly for collectors seeking coins certified at Ms. 66 or above. Mint errors and varieties add another layer of intrigue to the 1953 wheat penny. Some examples exhibit doubled dies where the lettering or date appears to be struck twice at slightly different angles. Others display repunched mint marks where the D or S was struck more than once into the die by hand, giving rise to subtle variations that today fascinate Era collectors off-center strikes, broad strikes, and clipped planchets are also known among 1953 pennies, and these anomalies often sell for impressive premiums far beyond the value of a normal cointh. And of the wheat penny era was only a few years away. By 1953, the mint had already been discussing design changes to modernize the cent. By 1959, the reverse would be replaced with the Lincoln Memorial design, marking the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This meant that every wheat cent from 1958 backward became part of a closed series frozen in time. And as the decades passed, Americans increasingly recognized these coins not as common change, but as nostalgic artifacts of another age. The wheat penny became the first coin many young collectors sought to complete in albums and folders in the mid-20th century. The collecting hobby exploded in the 1960s, and 1,970 prices for wheat pennies rose. Coin shows flourished, and coin dealers thrived on the demand for these small copper coins. The 1953 wheat penny, though relatively common, played a critical role in this collecting wave as children searched through pocket change to fill their blue Whitman folders with cents from every year and mint mark, while older collectors sought high-grade examples certified by grading services that emerged later today. The 1953 wheat penny remains a gateway coin. It is affordable enough for beginners, yet nuanced enough for specialists who hunt for rare die varieties, color, designations, and pristine gem examples. Auction records show that a flawless red 1953 D or S wheat penny in Ms. 67 condition can sell for hundreds of dollars, while unique varieties may command even more in specialized sales. This combination of accessibility and potential rarity makes it a cornerstone of mid-century numismatics. Cultural story of the wheat penny also deserves attention. In 1953, children still bought candy for a penny. Newspapers could cost only a few cents, and jukeboxes played songs for nickels and dimes. The penny was a working coin, not yet relegated to near uselessness. In fact, the wheat penny represented both the value of money and the pride of a nation still celebrating victory in World War II and entering an age of prosperity. Each 1953 cent circulated through hands that lived in an America of black and white televisions. Elvis Presley on the horizon, and the early days of the civil rights movement. When you hold a 1953 wheat penny, you are not just holding copper, you are holding a miniature time capsule of mid-20th century America. It carries the face of one of the nation's greatest presidents. It carries the artistry of Victor David Brenner, who first designed the coin in 1909, and it carries the silent witness of a society in transformation, from war to peace, from scarcity to abundance, from tradition to modernity. Collectors today treasure the 1953 wheat penny, not because it is rare in absolute numbers, but because it connects us directly to that historifor. Numismatists, coin historians, and casual collectors alike, the 1953 wheat penny remains an enduring subject of fascination. It invites us to look closer, to study mint marks, luster strikes, and varieties, but also to remember the people and the history behind its creation and circulation. As long as collectors seek meaning in coins, the 1953 wheat penny will continue to shine as a humble yet powerful reminder of the past.